Hamilton makes a shocking statement after Ferrari's double DNF. Lando confronts McLaren after suspicious engine failure, and Isack gets a huge boost after his first F1 podium. Picture this: the roar of engines, the spray of Dutch rain, the iconic banking at Zandvoort, and then, suddenly, a crash. A rare, painful crash for Lewis Hamilton. Today we're diving into the drama, the emotions, and the fallout from one of Ferrari's most brutal Grand Prix Sundays. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see how this one moment might reshape the entire championship narrative. The Dutch Grand Prix was always going to be dramatic. Oscar Piastri was leading the charge in the McLaren, Lando Norris chasing behind, and Ferrari hoping desperately for redemption. Lewis Hamilton, in his debut Ferrari season, had shown glimmers of progress. He was qualifying better. The team was smiling again. Fans sensed momentum building. But finishing the race, that was still an open wound. And above them, the clouds gathered. Light rain teased the track. A storm was waiting to rewrite the script. Lap 23. Hamilton sat in 7th, hunting down George Russell. His strategy looked promising. Ferrari had reasons to hope, but as Hamilton attacked the banking at turn 3, his car betrayed him. The grip slipped away, painted curbs turned traitor. The rear snapped, and in a split second, Ferrari's number 44 was in the wall. The crowd gasped, the radio crackled. For Hamilton, it was a nightmare. He later admitted he could count on one hand the number of times he'd crashed from his own mistake. But this one hurt. Hamilton climbed out, unharmed physically, but the frustration was heavy. His words told the story. "I'm sad for the team. I honestly felt like I had the pace. To come away with nothing is definitely painful. It wasn't anger, it wasn't excuses. It was raw honesty. A 7-time world champion admitting vulnerability." He spoke of pressure, on himself, on Ferrari, on the expectations that never leave him. "It's tough to handle something like that," he confessed. Yet, he added, he would get ahead of it. This was Hamilton's resilience on display, but also his humanity. And if Hamilton's crash wasn't enough, Ferrari's day collapsed further. Lap 53, Charles Leclerc, already battling hard, clashed with Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli at the same treacherous turn 3. The move was aggressive, too aggressive. Leclerc's Ferrari spun violently into the barrier. Another red car gone, another dream shattered. Ferrari had suffered the unthinkable, a double DNF, their first since Canada last year. Leclerc didn't hide his anger. He called Antonelli's move too much, but the damage was done. Ferrari's weekend was over. Both cars in the gravel, both drivers helpless spectators. While Ferrari crumbled, Oscar Piastri seized the moment. He controlled the chaos, crossed the line first, and extended his championship lead to 34 points. Lando Norris, pushing hard to keep the fight alive, suffered his own heartbreak, an engine failure near the end. McLaren's hopes dimmed, but Piastri's dominance shone brighter than ever. The contrast was brutal. McLaren's calm execution versus Ferrari's spiraling collapse. One team climbing, the other falling. And in the constructors' standings, Ferrari's grip loosened. The Red Empire looked shaky. Suddenly, Monza loomed not as a homecoming, but as a test of survival. Crashes in Formula One are never just about broken carbon fiber. They're about psychology. Suspense grips us in the moment of impact. Relief washes over us when a driver climbs out unhurt. Then comes the honesty, the driver admitting fault, pain, or pressure. That honesty builds a connection. Fans feel closer, they see the human beneath the helmet. And then comes the contrast. Ferrari in despair, McLaren in triumph. It's that emotional swing, fear to relief, hope to heartbreak, that keeps us hooked. Hamilton's crash wasn't just an accident, it was a turning point. A reminder that even the greatest can falter. A reminder that Formula One is as much about mental resilience as it is about lap times. So where does Ferrari go from here? Can Hamilton turn this painful setback into a story of redemption? Will Leclerc find his footing or fracture under pressure? And is Piastri on his way to turning dominance into destiny? This season has shifted from exciting to epic, and the next chapter unfolds at Monza. What if I told you Mercedes has just drawn a line in the sand about their Formula One future? No more rumors, no more speculation. Toto Wolff has officially spoken, and his decision could shape not only Mercedes, but the entire Formula One grid in 2026. But here's the twist. One of their drivers is still waiting for the ink to dry on his contract, and another, he's facing questions about whether he can handle the pressure of Formula One's biggest stage. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Wolff has made this call, and what it means for the future battles between Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Formula One fans love the racing, the strategy, the drama on track. But let's be honest, the silly season off the track, that's where the real chaos begins. For months now, rumors have been flying. Could Mercedes make a shock move for Max Verstappen? Could George Russell lose his seat? And what about rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli? Is he really ready to step into a role as one of Mercedes' two future stars? Well, Toto Wolff has finally answered, and the answer is loud and clear. In an interview, Wolff confirmed that Mercedes will continue with George Russell and Kimi Antonelli into 2026. He called them his absolute priority. That means the Verstappen to Mercedes rumor mill? Dead. At least for now, and it also means Wolff is willing to bet the team's entire future on a combination of proven talent and rising potential. But here's where it gets interesting, because while Antonelli already has a seat locked in, Russell's new deal isn't completely finished. Wolff admitted they're still optimizing his contract. That's a fancy way of saying, yes, we want him, but the lawyers are still at work. Now let me ask you, if you were George Russell right now, would you be nervous? Imagine knowing that Mercedes is committed to you publicly, but the contract you need to secure your future is still just words on paper. Would you sleep easy at night? Or would the rumors about Verstappen and other drivers make you question everything? Russell himself says he's calm. In his own words, the chance of losing his seat is exceptionally low, but fans know F1 is brutal. Drivers with contracts have been dropped before, so until Russell signs on the dotted line, nothing is guaranteed. Now let's talk about Kimi Antonelli, the teenage sensation Mercedes has been hyping for years, the driver many are calling the next big thing. But here's the reality, his rookie season hasn't been perfect. Some would even say it's been rocky. Compared to Russell, Antonelli is struggling to adapt, and that has led to whispers. Is Mercedes at risk of becoming a one-man team? Think about it. Every top team needs two strong drivers. Red Bull has Verstappen and a rotating cast of teammates. Ferrari has Leclerc and Sainz, or at least they did until Hamilton's arrival changed the game. If Antonelli doesn't step up, Mercedes could find themselves fighting with one arm tied behind their back. And yet, Wolff isn't backing down. He says Antonelli is the future. He believes the young Italian just needs time to grow, and that's why he's staying put for 2026. Let's zoom out for a second. Why is Wolff making this choice? Psychologically, leaders like Wolff know stability is power. When a team shows loyalty, it creates confidence. Russell gets reassurance, Antonelli gets space to grow, and rivals get the message. Mercedes has a plan, and they're sticking to it. But there's also a risk. If Russell doesn't perform or Antonelli fails to rise, Mercedes could regret not chasing a superstar like Verstappen. And once the window closes, opportunities in F1 don't come back easily. So Wolff is playing a long game, betting that Russell's consistency and Antonelli's raw talent are enough to carry Mercedes into the next era of Formula One. Here's the question I want you to think about. Is Wolff right? On one hand, he's showing faith. He's building a team around two drivers who could deliver both stability and growth. On the other hand, he's passing on the chance to sign one of the greatest drivers of this generation. So, what would you do? Go all in on Russell and Antonelli? Or make a bold play for Verstappen, even if it risks destabilizing the team? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm curious where you stand. Now let's look ahead. Formula One is about to enter a new era in 2026. New cars, new regulations, and potentially a huge shake-up in the competitive order. Ferrari has Hamilton and Leclerc. Red Bull still has Verstappen, the benchmark for speed and dominance. And now Mercedes has decided. It's Russell and Antonelli no matter what. The question is, can that lineup actually compete? Russell has the experience. He's proven he can fight at the front. Antonelli has raw talent but untested potential. It sets up one of the most fascinating battles we've seen in years. Established legends on one side, hungry youth and stability on the other, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So Mercedes has made their choice. George Russell and Kimi Antonelli will lead the Silver Arrows into 2026. It's a decision filled with confidence but also risk. Because in Formula One, loyalty can either build dynasties or break them apart. The next 12 months will decide whether Wolff is a genius for sticking with his drivers, or whether Mercedes missed their shot at signing a generational talent like Max Verstappen. Isack Hadjar, the 20-year-old French rookie, just made history at the Dutch Grand Prix. But his moment of glory came with an unexpected twist. Let's dive into the story of triumph, tradition, and a trophy that didn't quite survive the celebration. Starting from fourth on the grid, Hadjar faced fierce competition from seasoned drivers like Charles Leclerc and George Russell. Despite the pressure, he held his ground, showcasing remarkable skill, composure, and determination. Every lap demanded focus, precision, and a cool head, and Hadjar delivered on all fronts. As the race progressed, an unexpected turn of events changed the dynamics entirely. McLaren's Lando Norris suffered a power unit failure, suddenly opening the door for Hadjar to move up the ranks. It was a golden opportunity, and Hadjar seized it with maturity beyond his years. Crossing the finish line in third place, Hadjar secured his first ever Formula One podium. The achievement was historic. He became the youngest French driver in F1 history to reach a podium, and only the second rookie this season to do so. The The sense of accomplishment was tangible, both for Hadjar and the fans watching around the world. The celebration that followed, however, added a humorous twist to the story. During the traditional team photo, Hadjar held his handmade Delft Blue trophy, a symbol of his hard work and dedication. He gently placed it on the ground to pose with his team, expecting it to stay intact, but when he picked it up again, something unexpected happened. The base of the trophy stayed behind. The delicate trophy had snapped at the neck. There was a collective gasp, quickly followed by laughter from the team. Hadjar's reaction was priceless, a mix of surprise and amusement. While the trophy may have been damaged, the significance of Hadjar's achievement was unaffected. The broken piece became a symbol of the unpredictable nature of racing. In Formula One, success often comes with unexpected moments, and Hadjar handled it with grace, humor, and humility. The Dutch Grand Prix was a defining moment in Hadjar's career. Every lap, every overtake, and every strategic decision contributed to his historic podium. Fans and analysts alike praised his composure under pressure and his ability to capitalize on opportunities that arose unexpectedly. This moment also highlights the importance of resilience. Formula One is not just about speed, it's about managing challenges, staying focused, and keeping a positive mindset, even when things don't go perfectly. Hadjar's broken trophy is a metaphor for that, an imperfect symbol of an extraordinary accomplishment. Beyond the race, this podium puts Hadjar in the spotlight as one of the sport's rising stars. His performance is a testament to talent meeting opportunity and preparation meeting perseverance. As the season progresses, fans will be watching closely to see how he builds on this success. The Dutch Grand Prix also serves as a reminder of the rich traditions and unique moments that make Formula One so compelling. Every track, every trophy, and every celebration tells a story. Hadjar's experience adds humor and humanity to the sport, showing that even in a high-stakes, high-pressure environment, there's room for light-hearted moments. For Hadjar, this is just the beginning. His journey in Formula One is unfolding rapidly, and the rookie has already shown he can compete with the best. The podium at the Dutch Grand Prix is a milestone, but it is also a signal of what's to come. As fans, we celebrate not only the victories, but also the stories behind them. Hadjar's broken trophy reminds us that success is rarely perfect, but it is always meaningful. It's a story of resilience, skill, and the unpredictable beauty of racing. Looking ahead, Hadjar will continue to face fierce competition, complex strategies, and the relentless pace of Formula One. But if his performance at the Dutch Grand Prix is any indication, he has what it takes to thrive. His talent, focus, and attitude set him apart as a young driver to watch. The reactions from his team, fellow drivers, and fans reflect the excitement surrounding his career. Support, admiration, and playful humor combined to create a memorable post-race moment. Even though the trophy was broken, the smiles and laughter captured the spirit of celebration perfectly. Moments like these are what make Formula One unforgettable. The victories, the surprises, and even the mishaps contribute to a narrative that fans follow passionately. Hadjar's story is a perfect example. Skill, opportunity, and a little unexpected humor all rolled into one. Isack Hadjar's podium at the Dutch Grand Prix proves that preparation and talent can lead to extraordinary results, even when life throws in a curveball. The broken trophy is now part of his story, a reminder that triumph often comes with small imperfections that make the moment even more memorable. As we watch Hadjar's career unfold, one thing is clear: he is a rising star with the potential to achieve great things. His journey is a mix of determination, talent, and the kind of moments that fans love to see. Every race will be an opportunity to add to his legacy. For now, the Dutch Grand Prix will be remembered not only for Hadjar's historic podium, but also for the playful mishap with the trophy. It's a story that combines success, tradition, and human moments that make Formula One more than just a race. It's an experience. Hadjar's performance is a reminder that in Formula One, every second counts, every decision matters, and every moment is an opportunity. His ability to rise to the occasion and celebrate with humor shows a maturity beyond his years. The journey continues. As Hadjar moves forward, he carries with him the lessons, the laughter, and the memories of this remarkable race. His story inspires aspiring drivers and excites fans worldwide. The broken trophy will always be a symbol of a perfect, imperfect moment. Imagine this: you're on the edge of your seat at Zandvoort, the high-banked corners, the roaring crowd, and then an unexpected moment that changes everything. Today we're diving into what the data really says about Lando Norris's Dutch Grand Prix performance and why the question "what if" might be the most powerful question in motorsport. Heading into the weekend, Norris looked unstoppable. He dominated Friday practice, topping both sessions with pace that left the paddock buzzing. He was particularly strong in the low-speed corners, an advantage that translated perfectly to the unique flow of Zandvoort. Confidence was high, but then came qualifying, and in the tightest of margins, Oscar Piastri edged out Norris by just 12 thousandths of a second. Such a tiny gap, but psychologically massive. Pole position belonged to Piastri, and with it, the upper hand. Now here's where the numbers get fascinating. Once the race began, strategy and execution took center stage. By lap 36, after a virtual safety car period, Norris's engineer came on the radio with a blunt message. If he wanted the win, he would need to fight for it on track. That was the moment of truth. What happened next was telling. Norris's pace improved, but so did Piastri's. From lap 36 to 52, their average lap times were almost identical. Think about that. Despite all the talk, despite the pressure, Norris wasn't behind. He was right there, running at the exact same speed as the race leader. This is where the story could have taken a very different turn. Because when two teammates are this closely matched, all it takes is one mistake, one moment of brilliance, or one bold overtaking attempt to flip the script. For 16 laps, the possibility of a late charge hung in the air. Fans could feel it. The team knew it. Norris himself knew it. But then came the twist. Lap 65. Smoke began pouring from the back of Norris's car. In seconds, the fight was over. A mechanical failure forced him out of the race, with only 7 laps to go. What had been a potential showdown for the win instantly became heartbreak. It wasn't a case of being outpaced. It wasn't a driver error. It was fate intervening. The Dutch Grand Prix for Norris went up in smoke, and the consequences were brutal. Oscar Piastri crossed the line to take victory, and with it extended his championship lead. From a tight battle, the gap stretched to 34 points, with just 9 races left in the season. In Formula One terms, that's a mountain to climb. One moment of misfortune turned the narrative of the entire season. Here's the deeper layer. What we experienced as fans, hope, tension, and then devastation, was mirrored perfectly in the data. The telemetry confirmed Norris had the pace to stay in the fight. He wasn't dropping off, he wasn't fading, he was there. Which means his retirement wasn't just a technical failure, it was the collapse of a potential storybook ending. That's why it stings. Psychologically, it's moments like this that test champions. Does it break their momentum, or does it fuel a comeback? The parallels to past seasons are striking. Think back to 2016, when Lewis Hamilton's title hopes were wrecked by an engine blowout in Malaysia. One failure, one DNF, can decide everything at the highest level. The Dutch Grand Prix may very well be the turning point of 2025. Analysts have already called it the race that makes the title Oscar Piastri's to lose. But Formula One is never that simple. 9 races plus 3 sprints still remain. Momentum can swing. A 34-point gap is tough, but not impossible. And for Norris, the challenge is no longer just mechanical reliability, it's psychological resilience. How do you bounce back after losing not because of yourself, but because of your car? Imagine being in his shoes. You've trained, pushed, and delivered performance after performance, only to have it undone by a puff of smoke. That image of Norris pulling over at Zandvoort, helmet still, car dying, is one that will stay in fans' minds for years. It's more than points lost. It's the emotional blow, the crushing sense of what might have been. And yet, champions are forged in these very moments. After the race, Norris vowed to give it everything in the final stretch of the season. It was a statement of resolve, but also an admission of the pressure he now faces. The question is whether he can channel that heartbreak into determination, or whether the psychological advantage has now fully shifted to his teammate. So what does the data reveal? It tells us that Norris was in the fight. His pace from lap 36 to 52 proves he had the speed to match Piastri. The ending was not about lacking performance, but about fate cutting him short. And that matters because the way we interpret this moment shapes the narrative of the season. Is this the race that defined the championship, or is it the spark that lights a comeback story? In the end, Formula One is about more than just raw speed. It's about surviving the unexpected. It's about momentum, psychology, and timing. Sometimes the difference between champion and challenger isn't tenths of a second, it's whether your car makes it to the finish line. So I'll leave you with this. Lando Norris had the pace, he had the fight. What he didn't have was luck, but luck has a funny way of changing in Formula One. With 9 races still ahead, the title isn't sealed. The data confirms Norris was right there in Zandvoort. The only question is, will he still be there when the season ends? What do you think? Can Norris fight back and mount a late charge? Or was this the moment the championship swung forever in Oscar Piastri's favour? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, in Formula One, it's not always the fastest who wins, it's the last one standing.